you suffer lower back pain, be careful if you have any disc issues. Obviously you need to speak to your doctor about exercises for that, but this is just simply if you've got tightness in your back, if you want to mobilise and just stretch out. It's Christmas in 4 days, so this will hopefully keep everyone going over Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to start. You need a band as well, just like a stretchy band, but not necessary. If you've got one, great. If not, no problem. Okay, so we're going to start laying down on our back. I'm just going to take my hair out so that it doesn't get in the way. So from here, we're in neutral pelvis and spine. So you know that if you imprint your lower back, totally arch your lower back, the midpoint between the two is the neutral. So you feel your tailbone heavy, the back of the ribs heavy, the back of the head heavy into the floor. So from this position, we're going to take a deep breath in to the back and the side of the ribs. And then when we exhale, feel the back of the ribs flatten into the floor as well as the lower back, the tummy hollowing in to your spine. Pelvic floor pulls up, and then we're going to lift the pelvis, lift the spine, stretch the knees forward towards the toes, but keep the ribs down at the front, so you're not letting those ribs flare. If you let the ribs just pop up like this, it just goes straight into the neck, and we want to mobilise the upper back. So you got the breastbone, the pubic bone, the knees in a straight diagonal line. So we're going to breathe in here. And then as we breathe out, you're going to relax the shoulders, soften the breastbone down, feel the tummy hollowing in, and that almost causes your spine to lower vertebra by vertebra until you feel the back of the ribs flatten into the floor and the lower back, and then you release the pelvic floor and the at the end of the movement. So we breathe in, prepare, and then we exhale, hollow the abdominals, wheel the pelvis, feel the back of the ribs flatten, lift the pelvis, lift the spine, stretching those knees forward. Hold here, breathe in, and exhale. Feel openness through the chest, feel the shoulders relax, and we lower down vertebra by vertebra. And release. Again, breathing in to prepare. Pull the tummy in, pelvic floor pulls up, wheel the pelvis. Feel the back of the ribs flatten into the floor. Lift the pelvis, plant those feet firmly into the floor as the knees stretch forward. So you feel the glutes, the back of the leg working, and the front of the thighs stretching. Breathe in there, keep the ribs down at the front so you feel that rib to hip connection. The abs are engaged, breathe in. And then as you exhale, let gravity take you down bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. Feel the spine lengthening forwards as it lowers down. And then release. Again, breathe in. Pull the tummy in, wheel the pelvis. Lift the pelvis, lift the spine, stretching those knees forwards. Hold at the top, breathe in. And then exhale, let gravity take you down bone by bone. And then from there, I'm going to use the band. If you don't have a band, no problem, you don't have to. So we're going to lengthen the left leg along the floor and place my foot into the band. This is really good just to stretch out through the lower back. So I'm going to take the opposite arm to the leg that's lifted, ground the other arm down, and I take the leg, let the hip lift as I take the leg over and I stretch there. Bring that foot slightly in towards me and you feel the stretch all the way down to the hip. Breathe in. And then pull the abdominals in as you wheel back, bringing that leg back. Swap the hands over, take the leg outside the body so you stretch the inner thigh, but ground the hip into the floor, so don't let the pelvis move from neutral when you take that leg out. Hold there. Now I'm going to swap the hands over, taking the leg across, stretch, then we're coming back. So you've got to pull your tummy into the spine. You're using your waist and you're stretching those legs, the inner, the outer thigh, and also across the back, the lower back and the hip. Lengthen the waist, stretch it down as you stretch the leg across. This is really good, especially if you're feeling like tightness through that lower back and if you're prone to sciatica, those kind of conditions. Because it's just good to get that stretch across the hamstrings. These get so tight, the hamstrings, and also through the hip. And then coming back. One more time. And then we're going to place the other foot in the band. So if you don't have a band, you can do the same movement. You could do it with the knee bent if you prefer, stretching across. And then straighten the leg at the end, bend, and then coming back. Stretch the leg outside, lengthen. So that would be an easier version. Or you could do with the leg straight, flex the foot as you go across, and then come back. But have both the arms out to the side if you're not using the band. The band just simply assists with that stretch, but this version is equally as good. And just ground those shoulder blades. Make sure the lower border of the shoulder blades are into the floor, the ribs are down, the tummy's pulled in. So I'm just showing you both variations so you can choose what suits you. If you wanted to carry on using the band, by all means do that instead. And then bend the knee, lower the legs down. And then from here, just going to come onto our side, stretch the top arm over, rotate the chest down. And then come into that arm opening. And then bring the arm across, rotate the chest down. And then come into the arm opening. And again. So we exhale as you take the arm across, stretch, and you breathe in as you lift up. Exhale as you take the arm across, stretch, and then you breathe in as you lift up. And then you do that on the other side, and then from there I'll also show you, the one good one to finish would be the catch stretch. So hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then from here, you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to wheel the pelvis, feel the tummy pulling up into the spine, sequentially flex through the spine. Push your shins, the hands into the floor, breathe in. And then exhale, you lengthen the head and the tailbone. So we're going to breathe in, prepare. Pull the tummy into the spine, wheel the pelvis, scoop those abdominals in, flex, breathe in, and then exhale, lengthening the head, the tailbone. So you would do this catch stretch probably 8 times, 10 times, how many times you want to basically. And what's important is pushing those hands and the shins into the floor in opposition as you make that catch stretch, making sure you're tucking the pelvis under as much as you can. Don't worry about pushing too much into the upper back because that will easily flex anyway. What's important in order to get the lower back stretch is to tuck the pelvis as much as you can and pull your tummy up as much as you can as well, in opposition to pushing into the floor. And then lengthen your spine. And then you can just sit back, walk your hands over to one side, place the other, one hand on top of the other, stretch. And then you would go over to the other side, place that hand on top and stretch. Come back to center and roll up through your spine. Okay, so I hope that gives you some ideas. I'll do a full video with all the exercises with you when I've got a moment, but I've got to go and teach pregnancy